Alright, replay review. Dimme on Stukov on All-Track Pass. Uh, Normally I start this off by going over comps, general game plan. I'm going to be a bit more in-depth with it this time. So this is probably going to be a solid, 10 minutes of rambling about Stukov, comps, talents, whatever. I don't usually go over talents either, but since you specifically asked, and I feel confident delving very deep into Stukov talents, optimization, we're going to go over that as well at the start. And also that means that we're not going over it at the end or during the game. So if you want to just skip to gameplay, I'd recommend fast forwarding ahead. Otherwise, I'm going to talk a whole bunch about stuff that may or may not be relevant here. So I believe in this game you went fully build, you went low blow, one good spread, growing infestation, shove, it hungers, and super strain. Where do I start with this? Okay, so basically looking at comps, I like Stukov in this game. There's two things that make me want to pick Stukov. The first is some very standard hard CC engage, and by standard I mean they press a button, the enemy is held in place, because that makes it very easy to hit your bread and butter WED combo, which I'll go over a little bit more in depth in a second. Um, so for I'm looking for stuff like Muradin, Nubarak, Varian, Garrosh does not work as well. Stitches does not work as well. Stuff with displacement or minimal actual hard CC time where they're held in one place is difficult because your follow-up combo does have a bit of delay to it. And the longer someone's held in place, the more consistently you can hit it. The shorter the CC is, so if it's like Garrosh who only stuns for a little bit, or Stitches who doesn't stun at all or whatever, you're going to need to do some more predicting of where the target's going to end up and sort of put your abilities so they intersect as they move, which is a lot more difficult. So Muradin is a tank I like Stukov with very much because he just presses his Q, someone's stunned, there's no displacement, it's a solid 1.25 second stun, enough time to hit all your buttons, very easy. So already we like Stukov here. The second reason I would pick Stukov is if his counter engage and general ability usage really counters other heroes. So I talked about this a little bit in text, but um, physical physical armor here with biotic armor combined with reactive ballistospores makes melee auto attack heroes really upset. So Illidan here is someone I like picking Stukov into. If Illidan jumps in, you can reactive, which will immediately put a W on him that he cannot dodge because it's just AoE around you. So anytime he goes on you, reactive, you cannot dodge this. And then it also resets your D, so you can guaranteed get a full pop of biotic armor off, giving yourself and everyone else on your team 50 physical armor, so he's now doing almost no damage. And since he has the W on him, you either now have hit him with a 70% slow, or if you're spicy and you got an E under him, now you've hit him with a 70% slow inside your E, and then he just dies. And then your ults are very good into that sort of dive too. If there's no hard CC on you, you can use your ults to disrupt a lot of stuff. So we've got follow up on your Mergen here. We've got anti-Illidan tech, and then the other people here are also pretty good for Stukov. Hanzo, more physical damage for more biotic armor value. Now, to be clear, I don't always take biotic armor. I prefer one good spread. Biotic armor is just the tech into high physical damage, like Illidan. I'd pick it into Illidan anyway, and then the fact that Hanzo's here gives it even more value. These two, Gul'dan and Brightwing, are also sort of secondary nice for you. I wouldn't say I take Stukov into them primarily, but since they're here, they do have channeled abilities you can interrupt with your E or your ults. Ditto for Blaze. Blaze is a lot more difficult, and since you're learning Stukov, I would not expect you to be doing this consistently at all, but Massive Shove can interrupt his E pretty consistently once you know to look out for it, because as he has a big windup, and he's not unstoppable during it, you can catch him with Massive Shove. You can do the same for Diablo too, it's just a lot more difficult. Yeah. Uh, Basically, good Stukov game. The other thing is, Stukov's weakness is he has no cleanse, and his burst save power is a little low. He has a few options, but like you're nowhere near what Luther or Whitemane can bring to the table. Honestly, similar to Deckard in the same way. You're more aggressive than you are defensive, but they don't have that much of an aggressive comp. Like if they were like a noob Genji, Tronde, or whatever, yeah, that's kind of rough because you can't save anyone from being blown up, and you're vulnerable to being blown up. If they have Chromie's a decent counter to Stukov because you pop loop on someone and you can't do anything about it. Yeah, none of that here. Um, Blaze is a classically inconsistent engage tank, so their engage is already rough. Anyway, yeah, good stew. Okay, now my talent picks here are going to differ a good bit from yours, and I'm going to explain that to you. Usually I don't go into this much detail, but since you asked, my picks here would be reactive ballistospores. I would go biotic armor, targeted excision. We'll come back to ults here because this is an interesting discussion. Some tech, virulent reaction, Pox Populi, but there's an argument for Super Strain. I'd probably go Pox though. Get to that in a second. And then I'd go Bio Explosion Switch, but Controlled Chaos if you took Swipe is also good. So reactive, I talked about it already. Good into the Illidan. When Illidan dives in, he's a free reactive pop. Reset your D, make sure you get the biotic armor off, and slows the Illidan, makes it very easy to counter engage on. That's the logic for those two. Target excision and virulent reaction go together really well. Because you said you don't do the WED combo, and I'm gonna look to see if you try in your silence usage. But this is something I would very much recommend you practice and do because it's part of what makes Stukov so good. Because just putting E under an engaged target is like it's okay. It silences them for a little bit, but it doesn't apply any hard CC. They can still walk around. So like Murden Stones, you put your E under, and like you do some damage with a low bow, your follow up damage, you silence them for a little bit, but after the burden stun's done, they can just walk out. So it means that say like Gul'dan can't stand still and channel, but he's probably not doing that anyway. It means that what's his name? Illidan has to wait a little bit to use mobility. He has to manually walk out. Um, Hanzo can't has to walk out before he D's over a wall. Blaze can't just pop bunker. Uh, Right Wing can't blink heal out, and that's good. Like you're denying save abilities from them as long as they remain in this silence. Um, but you're not holding them still, so they can just sort of walk out of the silence. Uh, if you WED, now they're in the silence still, so all that applies, but they also have a 70% slow in them for 2 seconds, which is very close to a root. So they have a very difficult time getting out of it, and the more time they're in it, the more time those important abilities are suppressed, the more damage you're dealing with low blow, or just E in general. It's still 141 DPS. Um, and the more your allies have to hit them. And then at 13, it's a root, which is even better. Because not in the why the root's better, 70% slow is really strong, but if you misposition the E a little bit, or just like they happen to be at the edge of it, maybe you're at the edge of the range. Um, if they're at the edge of E, even at a 70% slow, they can walk out of it pretty quickly. And even with a 70% slow, they're making progress towards the edge. What the root does is it means they can't make any progress towards the edge at all, which is really good. So I really am a proponent of WED on Stukov. I think it's what makes him part of what makes him so strong. With WED, you're one of the best follow-up healers in existence. Like it's Stukov or Tronde, depending on how you look at it. Tronde offers the armor shred, but Stukov has much higher CC time. If you're just Eing, it's not that good because maybe you get like a second of silence. Then by a second I mean like um where the silence is relevant. You get the damage, of course, while they're stunned by like Muradin, but after the stun wears off, how much we're looking at how much actual relevant follow-up CC you've given to your team, and without the slow or the root, it's not that much. Like an Anduin could do better by just pressing E. Deckard could do better, and he's not even great at follow-up because his route's so delayed. Stuff like that. And then I like target excision a lot for it because if I'm going for WEDs a lot, that's putting my D on cooldown, and target excision makes that much less of a cooldown. There's also an argument for growing infestation just because it increases the area of the silence, so it's harder for them to walk out of it. But again, like if they're slowed rooted, it's difficult to get out of it anyway. And I dislike the reduction in the channel time because sometimes you don't want to channel it for a while, and also the cooldown reduction on the D is really impactful. Now, I will sometimes take growing infestation still, but for this game and for this playstyle I'm advocating for, target excision is really good. We'll skip 10 for a minute because this is an interesting discussion. 16 Pox Populi synergizes really well with reactive ballistospores. Which again, I want to emphasize this is what I would go with this game. It's not a universal build that I want you to go all the time. Um, and if you're finding success with E-build, continue with E-build. I'm just giving my perspective here as to what else you could have contributed. But Pox Populi synergizes really well with reactive because you reset your D with reactive. So you get Q on everyone, Illidan dives in, you reactive, you D. Pox Populi, then instead of removing your Q, sets it to 3 seconds. So now you can D again because your Q is still on everyone. So you essentially double up your D healing. So for a very respectable, like 900 burst healing on your entire team, which is pretty good. Super Strain is also valid, of course. They're a little light on hard CC this game to proc it. So I like Pox Populi with reactive anyway, and I think Super Strain loses a bit of value this game. It's still okay. They probably take Hunt, so they have Hunt, there's Blaze stun. If Blaze has a big stun on your team, well, you just burst healed your entire team 300, which is pretty cool. Procs on Horrify, procs on Dragon Arrow. There is certainly stuff for it to proc on. So level 10. You went Shove, which I don't hate. Shove is what I end up going most games. It's very versatile, very effective. I think Swipe is basically like Gust light. You can use it roughly the same way as Gust. It's worse than Gust, obviously, but Gust is strong enough that even like budget Gust is good. I think Swipe is easier in general if you're starting out on Stukov, but I really like Shove as well, and they're both roughly similar value. Shove certainly gets value here. I would take Swipe, I think, because interesting countertech for Illidan specifically, and there's a couple other heroes this works on. Uh, Illidan is going to dive deep at some point, right? He's going to go deep into your team. And when he does that, if he's behind you, you can swipe the rest of his team away, and then everyone turns on the Illidan and kills him. I also like the tech into stuff like Deathwing, Johanna, who make themselves unstoppable, because then they don't get hit with the swipe, everyone else does. Other hard divers that might have difficulty getting out if everyone turns on them. It's pretty cool. So swipe upgrade makes that even better. So you could take that. I like Bio Explosion Switch personally because it just accentuates your WD combo even more. I think you're seeing a pattern with my playstyle at this point. Um, you get immediate damage, which is about the damage you'd get from E anyway. It's just now front loaded, and they're still rooted. The root still works. The slow still works. The silence still works. You just get to move around, which I think is pretty cool because especially this game, if you're able to move around, that means you can also respond to Illidan dives at the same time. If Murden sees something, jumps on them, stuns them, you WED, Bio Explosion procs, now you can move around, and if Illidan's diving your team at the same time, you can respond to that as well. Yeah, definitely don't go Bio Explosion with It Hungers though, or any if you're going E build in general. If you're going low blow, you don't take it. If you're going honestly, if you're taking any of the E build talents, you don't take Bio Explosion because having the E out actually gives you value. There's an argument that with It Hungers you could go Bio Explosion. I've never tried it. I won't get into it though. So yeah, big talk on Stukov. Oh yeah, how we're gonna play this game. So basically, how we're gonna play this game is ideally you want to be following Rodin around. Rodin jumps on someone, you combo them, they die. That's pretty much it. Alarak displacement is a little awkward for you. Um, Hopefully he just displaces after your combo. If he starts displacing before your combo hits, you're gonna have to either tell him in chat, to wait, or you're going to have to try and anticipate it. Stukov Lyric is also a decent combo because he traps them in Entomb, and then you can just put the silence in the Entomb. Yeah. Alright. I think I've rented far too much. Let's get into the actual gameplay.
5, 3, 1. Today,
5-3-1. Alright, I like it. Starting out with an alt Q at the start. Pretty good. So, okay, where'd your W go? Because your W's on cooldown there. Did you try and hit the combo and didn't? Let's look at this a little closer. So this guy goes in. Yeah, this guy, since he's silenced, actually it's difficult for him to move. You could WED him right now, even though he's not under hard CC. He's kind of body blocked in, and he can't use any of his mobility. Where does your W go? You miss him with the W. Unfortunate. Honestly, since you miss him with the W, you arguably just you just put your E under these two and slow silence them. Either they kill these guys and then turn on these guys, or this guy gets out and they turn on these guys. But putting the E under him is also fine. You just have to be quicker than it. You threw your W, then sort of walked a little bit in an arc, and that gave this guy time for the silence from Alarak to run out. If you throw your E, then immediately put it under him, he doesn't get out. W or no, because he's body blocked in. And this is a big part of the WED combo. Trust your W to hit. If you wait for confirmation that your W hits, it's taken too long, because your W takes a solid amount of time to travel. Is it a projectile? It has a travel time, and your E has a cast time. Ideally, you want to throw your W out and then immediately press E. The cast time of E is enough that W will have traveled its full distance, or almost its full distance, like it'll be right at the very edge of its distance by the time E goes down. And then, if it hasn't hit yet, maybe you wait a quarter second, then press D, but practically it's never going to be that, right. Your target's never going to be right at the edge. It's probably going to be a little bit closer. So you throw your W out, immediately press E by the time the E, and then after you press E, you hold D. By the time the E, startup animation, the startup channel, is done, and E is out, then by holding D, you press D as soon as it's available. And as stated before, W will have hit the target already. So basically, trust that the W will hit. Don't wait to see if it hits, because if you wait to see if it hits, that takes too long. Yeah, and you're just slightly too slow with the E, because he gets silenced by it. The silence connects, the damage connects, but he's already cast his mobility tool, and you can't interrupt that. So if you were literally like a quarter of a second faster, if you didn't take that time to move just a tad, if you just put the E down as soon as he was body blocked in there, or as soon as your W went out, whether hit or not, he'd be dead. Alright. Cool. Alt Q. A little slow on the Alt Q, but that's fine. It's okay to throw the W there. I don't think it really does anything, though, because your team's backing up. It's kind of a bit of a waste of mana and cooldowns. I'd also position this silence a little bit closer. I assume you're just trying to clear a wave here, which I agree with. You want to clear this wave ASAP so you can rotate. So make your E hit the entire wave. I'd keep channeling there. There's no threat to you. The longer you channel, the more the wave is cleared. Your wave clear kind of sucks right now, so actually helping out with the clear on your E is pretty good at the moment. Canceling the E early means you're taking longer to clear the wave. You're playing really far back here. Your team's stepping forward. Your bird is looking for something. If he finds a stun, you're not in range to follow up. I'd be walking up with him. I'd be like up here. Yeah, because if you were further up, you could combo that guy, and he probably does. Maybe, maybe not. He does have endurance impact, which is a whole 600 shield at level 1, which is kind of insane. Probably doesn't die, but you at least get good damage on him. Yeah, and now that's a waste of a W. He's not into hard CC. Like, I guess you can try and fish for them. If you're gonna try and fish for Ws, though, I'd really recommend Fetid Touch. Both because it obviously makes the W easier to fish with, and the ranged auto attack slow sets yourself up a little bit. It's still missable, but just having them slowed by 20% does make it easier to hit at the very least. Alright, yeah, you're kind of using abilities randomly here. Don't be baited into doing that. It's fine if your abilities are off cooldown. You're just wasting mana if you're spamming them. Alright, let's clear mid wave. We can step up and channel E on this. Yeah, I don't like missing mid wave here. Like, yeah, your team's bot, but there's no kill. There's no kill power here. This guy's out. Getting the minions is a lot more useful for you right now. Alt Q is a little bit of a waste of mana, but honestly, I probably would have done the same thing. I habitually Alt Q on cooldown, so I won't. Yeah, so if just gonna say it, if you're reactive, you get that kill because you don't need to aim your W. I mean, okay, he kind of ints, so that's cool, I guess. We love, yeah, my reaction as well. I don't know what he was doing, but you know what? We take those. All right, you can E for wave clear here. At this point, maybe you don't E for wave clear because now they're stepping up and your Rodent might look to find something. Play up further with your Rodent. You're missing the backline minions though. It's the minions don't move. It's okay to take another second to line up the perfect E. You can also slap the minions too. There's no threat on you. You speed up the rotation pretty well. Like, it's right there. Just slap it. I'm used to playing Deckard, and Deckard's autos are pretty low. But most healers' autos are pretty low, honestly. But Stukov autos slap pretty hard. The amount of times you can actually slap enemy heroes is pretty minimal, but you can certainly slap PvE targets. Trying to get in position. This guy might stun as soon as the blaze stun runs out. Press your E and your D, please! Okay, you make me sad. This blaze is dead if you press your buttons. Like, you even predictively hit the W on blades, which is like more advanced Stukov stuff. I was going to point out, but the WED combo does have enough setup that you have very little room for error under normal CC, like 1.25 seconds is normal setup CC time. So it's actually best if you sort of predict when your ally is going to throw CC and get the W in motion as the stun goes out. But yeah, you kind of did that. I don't know if it was intentional. I think you just saw Blaze standing still, and it's really easy to hit W on him. But it was good. So like, if you're pressing E right now, this guy dies 10 out of 10 times. Even now, you can press E. He's still stunned. You're just sort of looking at him. You're not doing anything with it. You literally watch him with this W on him walk in a circle. You don't even pop your D while the W's on him. You literally have two buttons that if you press, frankly, either of them, he probably dies. If you press both, he absolutely dies. And you press neither. Yeah, makes me very sad. If you take nothing else out of this, the play right here with this blaze was literally textbook. Stukov kills this blaze right here, and you whiffed it completely. If you press your buttons on that blaze, he dies. If that is your number one thing to take away from this review. If enemy is CC'd, you have W on them, press ED on them. If enemy is CC'd, press WED, but you already pressed the W, just forgot to ED. That's what Stukov does. He turns any CC your allies hit into kill. You should be stepping up more, by the way, so that when Alarak hits that, you can WED. You can WED off Alarak too. It's going to be a lot more difficult because it doesn't actually hold them in place much, but the displacement pulls them in a predictable line where you can land your combo on them still. Like, you're not falling back to tap, so I don't know what you're doing that far back. Like, yes, you want to play safe, but these guys don't have threat for you. Like, Blaze has an E range. As long as you play out of E range, if you're like back here, you're perfectly fine. And then when Alarak comes down, you can play with him. Because if you're up here, you can WED this guy, he dies. Just because he gets pulled back in a straight line, then he walks back in the same straight line. The abilities will hit, even though he's moving. W nothing. Camp is good. Don't want to leave everyone from the wave. Okay, Alex is staying. Just go help with the camp. You can back after the camp. Not helping with the camp. Slows it down significantly because now you're the big DPS contributor here. Because your slap actually hurts really hard. Eat the camp. Nice, good. It's more efficient. I haven't actually done the math. Why do you stop shelling E though? But you stop shelling E and then you're not even slapping. Alright. We gotta get you to start slapping things. Like, keeping the E until they're all dead is ideal. Also, I guess it's arguable. Yeah, keeping the E on them until they're dead is also ideal. Is ideal. If you're going to cancel the E, you start auto attacking them. Remember, your auto attacks hit really hard. It's literally like 300 damage. Where's your stat screen? Oh, I can't pull it up here. But yeah, you literally do like 300 damage per slap. It's kind of insane. Also here, it's arguable. The towers are targeting the minions already, but maybe you should have E'd the minions. Either way, stopping the E was there is a mistake. Don't be afraid, like, you're behind walls and nothing that's threatening you. Don't be afraid to just keep channeling E on those things. At least you're slapping them instead. Then if you were going to do that, why do you channel E? Because now your E's down. If your Murden lands a stun, and you have your E up, WED the Illidan, he dies. You don't have your E up, he doesn't die. You hit your W. I guess you have your E up in half a second. You probably want to actually put your E behind Muradin, because this guy's gonna flip over him in a second. I don't know if that's something reasonably you think of at the moment in time. I don't know if I would, but yeah, he moved anyway. You can still get your D on him if you press it right now. You don't. He lives. You pressed it too late. Again, this is the second time now that you've hit a W on someone, then waited until the W has run out to press E. Just press them together. They die if that happens. Look at how much damage you did to him in just that small amount of time he was in the E. If he's in there for a whole 2 seconds, toast. And now you desynced your cooldowns, so when Muradin hits another stun, yeah, he doesn't, but you don't have them all up. Largely, just think of it this way. You know how ETC, the common noob ETC mistake, is pressing slide and boop together? You're the opposite. You press W and E together in a lot of cases. E build is a little bit of an exception post 13 because you get more E's than you do W's. But at least until 13, that should be true. Because what else are you using W on? They're roughly the same cooldown. They are the same cooldown. You might as well just use them together because one sets up the other. So stop desyncing the cooldowns. Just press them both at the same time. You have your Q that you just sort of press on cooldown. Then you have WE, which you press together on targets that are being killed. Then you have D, which you either press when you need a burst heal or when you hit a WE. Okay, you have everything up. Play further up with your Muradin. Okay, he missed the stun. This is not this far up. You saw Fella and Vision here. You saw them walking down towards this bush. You're about to run into them in this bush. Raw W's, I would not go for. If you see him in an animation, you can try it, but you didn't. At the time you threw the W, you did not see Gul'dan at all. You threw it in his general direction, and it almost hit. But it didn't quite hit, and now your W's down for 4 seconds if Muradin had found something. And if you're going to throw the raw W, throw the E instead. E with it too. Okay, play further up. Your Alarak's found something, your Murden's looking for something, you're not in range of either of them. WED this Blaze. No! You had your W up, just press the W first before the E. Your Alex dying. And you're gonna press the wrong W. No. No, you won't have E up. You missed anyway. Alright, you can play for your objective. You have 7 over them. You're down mana though. Ah! General sounds of pain and suffering. What was that? So, we're here. We're on objective. Your Rodent's posturing aggressively. He's in range, so if someone shows in vision, you can jump on them and stun them. You're playing too far back. Hey look, there's someone. Rodent is going to stun them. You're out of W range right now, though. Rodent's jump key just like saving jump for next game or something? There is. Alright. Cool. And you're pressing W, and then... Okay, two things. So first, you're pressing W before the stun goes out. Second, you're pressing W on nothing. There's no one in this path. Third, you're pressing W out of range. So no one in range of the W. Fourth, you press W, and then you walk away. You do the same thing you did down here. Like, you press W, and then you do like a little half circle. Like a little victory lap. I press W. If that W had hit, you would have wanted to press E, not do that little, like, circle there. You're using W for a poke, I guess? It's not a poke ability. And then, fifth thing, your Rodent actually does hit a stun, but because you, A, were not playing as far up enough to be in range, and B, through your W at thin air, you can't get this kill. If you WED this is a kill. I promise you. You will die. Instead, you've now wasted... what is this E? You've E nothing there. I guess E kind of zoned Brightwing for some reason. They saw a big spooky circle on the ground and decided to walk into your team. Okay, I mean, technically, one could argue that you set up that kill on Brightwing with that E. That's a little ridiculous, though. Brightwing literally right-clicks to the left. Yeah. Well, yeah, Brightwing kind of into... No, I won't even give you that, because all that you did was make Brightwing turn around for like half a second as they get cloaked by the edge of the silence, because they're like, oh no, I'm silenced. I can't keep running that way. Silence interrupts my movement. I must walk back into 3 enemy people. They already kind of inted by stepping up here to auto-attack you anyway. Yeah. And then they, instead of going left with their team, go up. Yeah, probably kind of inted. I'm not even going to give that to you. We're pressing W raw again, and now you're out of mana. You know why you're out of mana? Because you keep spamming your abilities. If you just hold your abilities for when they're actually going to get value, it's like Deckard on low levels. Low level Deckard, big mana cost on W and E. If you're spamming them off cooldown, you're going to go Same deal as Stukov, except like it's even harder to go on him. But if you're spamming W and E on cooldown at nothing or at low probability plays, you're gonna go just because of how often you're pressing them. We'll also point out if you had a reactive there, you save that guy and probably kill Illidan. I'm gonna look at the E again. I'm pretty sure that E went in the wrong place. Yeah, you're eating these guys. There's an Illidan diving you. Now, granted, you may have thought you'd catch Illidan in that E, and you just dive at the at an inopportune time. I'll give you that. I still think pressing E is a mistake here in general, though. Because, like, you're running away. This E does nothing. It maybe stalls a little bit, but but you're stalling yourself by pressing E. You're trying to run away here. Your E is an aggressive button or a denial button. Um, it you're either denying enemy abilities with it with the silence, or you're setting up kills for your team. Neither of these are true here. The enemy doesn't have any abilities they're trying to cast. They don't need any abilities. They just need to right click on you. The silence doesn't stop that, and your team is certainly not turning around to kill anything in the silence. So all you're doing is making it slight. Even if you catch Illidan, you're making it slightly harder for enemies to chase you, but you're rooting yourself. So you're making it slightly harder for them to chase you, at the cost of making it massively harder for you to run away. If you hit them with a W too and they're slowed in the silence, that's maybe a different story. But raw silence does not do that. Oh no, you're body blocked in. You gotta go down. And because you're out of mana, you can't save yourself. If you press D, press D, press D, press D, press D, press D. Oh, you had D. You live if you just press D. You can't. I don't know if you were trying to like spread it before you D'd, but I mean, yeah, you can't save other people if you're dead too. You have to heal yourself. It's like the airplane mask thing. Alright. We're continuing to brawl over this. Also point out that probably could have taken camp at some point. Oh yeah, kill. Nice, 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 nice. Ah! If you take, I mean, okay, E here isn't awful. If you take, well, the second to step forward and throw a W first, maybe it's better. But your team also isn't really looking there. E has peel here, maybe stops them from getting enough damage to kill your guys. So I don't hate it. Call it peeling E. Yeah, it's okay. Ah, don't throw your raw W's though. Stop doing that. Even when you hit W there, what does that accomplish? It doesn't do anything. Or maybe slows one person. Maybe, yes. There's an argument that maybe it's enough peel for Allo to actually get out if it does hit. But in that case, then you need to aim it like over here. Back here is not doing anything. If you slow like the Hanzo, so what? These guys are still running at him. Now, there is an argument just to throwing out raw Ws if you are target excision, because if you can consistently land raw Ws, target excision means you can burst heal with D every 7 seconds instead of every 16 seconds, which is pretty good. Requires landing raw Ws consistently though, which is very difficult. With this build and this situation, that raw W is just a waste of mana and cooldowns. Your team's looking. Step back up. I mean, should they be looking? No, but hey, oh, you could have WED'd that guy if you were in range. Yeah, you were in range. You could have pressed your buttons on him. If you hit, you maybe kill. Now we're raw E'ing for nothing. You're just like E'ing. You're just like pressing W and E off cooldown because you think they should be getting. You're like using it for poke, or because you assume they'll be getting some value. It's not how that works. Hey, you could WED that guy. Yeah, I'll roll W. Now you don't. Ah! What is this? You like raw W and then pressed E on this guy, the little rider thing. If you're gonna press E on the wave, at least press E so it hits the entire wave. Raw W on absolutely nothing. There's nothing that's going to hit there. You didn't even miss. You just threw it at nothing. Then E. Yeah, I'd prefer E a little bit further back. In general, I mean, obviously heroes hit very hard on structures, but minions, in any push, minions are going to be a big part of what's killing your structures. Objectives that push largely have pushing power because they enable minions. Either because they directly like turn off buildings with the Garden Terror, or because they tank buildings. Like this guy. This guy also enables. I think his aura affects minions. No, it doesn't. It only affects heroes. So he just tanks buildings. But the minions are doing most of the damage. So trying to clear the minions, not this guy. especially since you were throwing out your big AoE ability that's suited to clearing minions and not suited for single target damage.
You've served your High Lord well enough. So you require my aid. How expected.
Yeah, okay, again. So that's like doubly bad, that E there.
You will be honored by my presence soon.
Because you're Eing not on the minions again, same as we said before. You're pressing E on the one guy when you could be hitting all the backliners. And then also, your team is actively looking for kills here, and you're wasting your kill ability on this. Random raw W. I guess you were trying to hit it. It's okay. Wait, what did we use our D on? Healing? Also, I love this mount. Very funny mount. Very appropriate. What did we use D here for? Just healing? Like, your W is not on anyone. Yeah, okay, you healed your team who was largely already at full health. I mean, I guess you get full healing value on this fella here. Maybe? I guess. I don't know, but now your E's on cooldown, or your D's on cooldown, so now when your W and E are coming up, you don't... just put it a little bit more towards the right so it actually hits them. Okay, good slap. In general... Oh! Okay. In general, I dislike using D for healing, unless I really need to, or unless there's no fight opportunity. Here I think it's fine to just alt Q and hold the D, because you know these guys are going to be here, and you want to hold your D for aggression if your bird lands a stun or your Leo lands an entomb, which he does. You're walking a little far back, especially once you pop your D. Yeah, okay, the abilities kind of went out at the same time. So would be much better if the silence was in the entomb, but you're out of range. If you didn't press E there, you could have walked up and pressed E, which would be okay. Um, Now that you've pressed E, keeping the E on the blaze is good value. I agree. Um, Although I disagree with Eing the blaze in the first place, because again, there's no CCO under him. He's just gonna walk out of it, and your team isn't even looking at him. He is kind of just like sitting in it way too long, though. That's cool. Good shove. Good shove. Random raw W. Yeah, so if you land W and E on that blaze, he dies. You just start syncing your cooldowns up. If you have reactive up, you can save from this Illidan. That was a decent... That was a decent E, actually. That was a good E. Luckily, the Illidan's kind of running it. Apparently, we're halfway through this game. Fascinating. Someone's about to snowball very quickly. Alright, tap. Go help with the push. Okay, so you pressed E where the minions are already walking away from. If you want to, so either you need the minions, you need to hold the minions somewhere. You can either do it with your body, like if you just stand there and then press E like right here, they're all gonna clump up because they're hitting you, and the E's gonna hit them all. Or you can wait until they clump on the wave. You can just wasted your E. Hey, look. I mean, they got the kill without you, but you absolutely should have been way further up. You guys can be stepping up here. Like, you can look to dive this guy. He's dead if you're all looking at him. Again, wait for them to clump up to press E on them. If they're just gonna walk out of it, it's not worth it. And now your E's down, so you can't WED this guy. You hit the W on him. Okay, alright. Let's slow this down a little bit. So you hit the W on the Blaze, but you didn't have the E to follow up for the kill, essentially. Alright. Let's look at each of your abilities. So we press D, we press W on him. Which is okay, even if you don't have E. You should have E though, basically. And you press D immediately to slow. That's nice. Where does shove get used? Because you shove. Flipped over you. He's over there now. He's not back here. Random E while you're getting actively killed by Illidan. And you die. Alright, now I'm gonna assume that shove was ping. I know you play on some decently high ping. So I recognize that some of this advice, like miss skill shots, is just ping. But you're just gonna have to compensate for that by predicting what's gonna happen. Illidan is going to keep going through you. Honestly, it's generally easier to hit things on Illidan by like waiting a second after he uses one mobility tool and then aiming behind you because he's going to go through you again. Essentially, you play that team fight better by having WED on that Blaze and this clump of enemies. You get that kill, and then it's free. Oh, I'm kind of running it. Hell yeah. Alright. You can use E here to help clear. It's a decent E place. It's fine. Yeah, tart. But going infestation means you don't actually get the channel for the law. Oh, what is happening over here? Team. Alright, wait for your abilities to be up. Don't just press W. Wait the 2 seconds for your E to be up. Okay, press E in Entomb. Press E. Good Dragon Arrow. That's unfortunate. Wait, you still have your E up. Press it again. Press it. Okay. I don't know if I would have shoved there, but it worked out in the end. It's okay. Need to back up, yeah. So, at the very least, It Hungers does increase the range for your E, so you can kind of E from the bush here. Oh, you're dead. There's vision of you in the bush. It's crazy. You stepped out of the bush, I guess? That's crazy. Peekaboo value. Oh my god. That's insane. Peekaboo just absolutely sold you out there. I'm not even gonna blame you for that one. You just kind of got very unfortunate. Peekaboo value, actually. Oh, Leo, drop your entomb. You're poor Stukov. Okay. Alright. You're at hit 16, you just need to turtle here. Kind of throwing like 3 team fights in a row. So we just need to channel. We probably lose some stuff. Stop. I beg of you, stop throwing one random ability. It would ironically make you happier if you missed W and E together than if you just threw one ability and missed it. Because then at least you're trying for a combo. Like, now you hit your W because they dash right into you, but you don't have your E to follow up. If you hit this W, blah blah blah, your E, hit this W. If you can now E right here and D him in the E, he's dead. Also, you can shove, yeah, way delayed blaze shove reaction. As soon as he pops that combustion, instead of trying to run away, and I'm not gonna blame you on ping either, because there's no way this is ping caused, because you're reacting by trying to run away from the combustion. You had time to press shove. Yep, down to bot. I don't know why you're being so scared. Step up and help clear. Don't use your E for clear, because you set up for that too, but also because then if, say, that Gul'dan steps up and Muradin jumps him, you don't have your E to kill him. Oh, good lord. What is your Alarak doing? For life, okay. Still down 16 here, you have to be careful of that. WBD? At least you hit an E. E again. Okay, you're getting some It Hungers value. Okay. It Hungers got value there. The Entomb... Technically, It Hungers was better than Virulent there because the Entomb already held them in place. So you didn't... So It Hungers, the set was more valuable than the root. I'll give you that one. I still wish you had pressed W on the initial target, though. Step up and hit the boss. And you have massive auto attack slaps. Contribute DPS here. It's okay for you to auto attack the boss. Please, I'm begging you. Stop walking in circles. Click on it. Oh my lord. Good play by blue side. Yeah, split push. I think at this point you're either doing the bottom boss or you're pushing with top boss. If you don't do either of those, I'm very sad. And you can E to clear this wave. That's good. Odin at least is figuring out something to do. Again, auto attack the boss. Please use your auto DPS. You're literally just slowing the boss down for no reason. What? We're seeing ghosts. Hey, if you had your E here, guess what you could have done? Something pretty cool, probably. I hate trying to run away, but I do think this is a fight you want to take. I mean, maybe not, because you're losing mid-keep for it. I still would take it, just because you're down talents, and being able to take this fight might get you ahead. Although, I suppose if you lose this fight, you lose the game. So, maybe not. Yeah, so if you had E, you could do something about this Illidan example. You're shoving so late. E on yourself is pretty good. Yeah, there's so much more you could have done this fight. Pretty useless. If you're in range, you could try and kill this guy. Yeah, like this stun, if you're in range, that's a kill. If you had E up, E here, it's a kill. Yeah, rough. Also, if you had swipe, you could have fixed that team fight. I assume you just lose off this. Uh, yeah, you do, but let's see what you do when you're on respawn at the very least. WED. I'm assuming that's ping. At least slap. Okay, cool. I don't think you get the slap even connected, but you at least tried. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Number 1, 2, 3, and 4 tip. Please, I beg of you. Stukov is an aggressive healer. A lot like Deckard in some ways. You are looking to find kills. You're not there for heals. You do good healing, but you're looking to secure kills for your team. So that means try to be in range of your engage, and when your engage hits, press the buttons on your engaged targets. W and E together. I don't think you hit them at the same time once this game. Press them together on a target. Press D to slow them into silence. That's a kill. That is all the feedback I have, because this game largely the things that you could control or the things that you could have done were securing kills for your team. So many kills got away because you aren't pressing buttons. I actually don't think I have much else to say. Like the shoves were bad, but I will blame ping on that. Trying to shove Illidan jumping around you on ping is going to be rough. You were pressing Q enough. You were largely where I wanted you to be. Oh, I guess E to clear minion waves. Don't wait for them to clump up and actually attack something to press E on them. But that's fine. Oh yeah, use your slap more on PvE targets. Stop walking in a circle when your team's like fighting bosses. Just contribute damage. Hit it. It's fine. You're allowed to do that. Um, yeah. If you have any questions, as always, let me know. Happy to discuss further. Stukov's one of my favorites, so I was very excited to see a Stukov replay. Otherwise, you said you're practicing Stukov more already, so good luck with that. Good luck with future games. Hopefully you find success with Stukov.